Hi, my name is John Council. I'm a senior reporter with Texas Lawyer newspaper, and welcome to the January 9th, 2009 edition of Reversed and Remanded. My guest today is Robert Miklos. Robert is a senior counsel at K&L Gates in Dallas, and the reason I've got Robert on today is he is a brand spanking new member of the Texas House of Representatives. And if we're lucky, he will make that body smarter and less ideological. So I'm going to put that on your shoulders, Robert. So anyway,
all right.
You'll be sworn in a few days. And you know, Robert, there's a lot of things to deal with in the legislature. And in the last few sessions, the legislature has arguably made the practice of law and the business of law a whole lot more difficult. So, you're a brand spanking new legislative member, you're a lawyer. Can you do anything about that?
Well, I don't think that my role as a legislator is to specifically look after just lawyers, but instead of look after the small business person in Texas entirely. And the fact is that the more small business people prosper in Texas, are able to do their business, employ employees. We need to look at ways of encouraging small business people to provide health insurance for their employees, and that's something that impacts small to medium-sized lawyers and law firms in Texas. Their ability to be able to afford to give health insurance. We could end up having more of our adults, and that's more of our families, covered through health insurance. So I don't look at it as being a lawyer, I'm there to necessarily focus just on what is beneficial to lawyers or what would hurt lawyers. It's what would help all the small, medium, and just business in general in Texas.
All right, but everybody's going to ask you, because you are a lawyer and because my audience is lawyers, can you roll back tort reform or at least hold a line on it, or what's your position on that?
My position on
tort reform. Do we need any more of it?
Well, my general philosophy is that it's very important that people have access to the court system and they're able to take their grievances to court. However, we need to examine what was done in 2003 on a case-by-case basis. I don't think that any legislator should go down to Austin and say, I'm 100% for this way or I'm 0% for that way, and come into it without really thinking about what they're doing. There are specific areas where we need to examine, if we're looking to do any changes, we need to examine those changes very carefully. But as a general statement, I think it's very important for people to be able to bring their grievances into court and have them heard. For example, in the home building industry, an arbitrary and complete arbitration process for the Lemon Homes has left a lot of new home purchasers out in the cold and unable to really advance their grievances. So that's something that we definitely need to look at.
So the Residential Construction Commission, I think that's the Sunset Report says do away with it. Are you going to be a vote to do away with that commission?
Well, I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to be a vote for or against anything in particular, because again, you just mentioned a minute ago that we shouldn't go in there and be ideological.
Right.
That we need to be more thinking. We need to look at that. We need to look at that report, see, if it was created for a specific purpose. Is that commission doing its purpose? Is it doing its job? We talk about spending too much of people's tax dollars in government. We shouldn't have a commission that is ineffective. So we're going to look at that commission, see whether it's effective or ineffective, or whether the courts can address those situations better, cheaper, more effectively for our citizens. That's something we need to look at.
Right. All right. So you're from one of the largest firms in Texas. When you go take your drive down I-35 to Austin, what happens to your practice? I mean, do you have to pass it off to other partners? What do you do?
To an extent. I mean, I'll be on the phone a lot when I'm driving down to Austin.
Right.
When I'm in Austin, K&L Gates has an office in Austin, so I'll practice there when I can. You try and plan the best you can. You pass off the matters that you can pass off to other partners and associates. It's just a matter of planning well, putting together, and not taking new matters on right before the session, so that you don't have that explosion of, oh my gosh, I need you for this right now. But you still have to earn a living, and I think that was the intent of the fathers in Texas, that we would have a part-time legislature with people who are full-time in their lives, but going down to the legislature for part-time. So when I go down in the legislature, carried with me is the understanding that I have a living to make, that I'm employed on a daily basis, that being down in the legislature is the end-all be-all of my existence, and I think it's very important for us to keep that connection to the real world, because that's who, when we legislate, we're affecting. People who go to work, clock in, clock out, earn salaries, feed their kids, have to provide health insurance, pay the bills. The fact that I have to do that too is very important, and it keeps me grounded, and it keeps the legislature grounded. So I hope that continues. I hope it never goes to a full-time legislature.
I gotta ask you this, are you relieved we're probably gonna have a brand spanking new Speaker of the House?
Joe Strauss.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You met with him?
I did. He's a very measured, very reasonable individual, and I look forward to his leadership in the House. I think that we're entering a new era where the members are going to be able to bring matters forward, get them on the House floor for a healthy debate, and things will be able to, pass or fail on their merits.
Yeah.
And I think that is a wonderful change moving forward for the state of Texas.
Have you lobbied to keep yourself off the Agriculture Committee?
Lobbied? No, I haven't lobbied for anything in particular.
All right, Robert, it's now time to put you in what I like to call the witness stand. I'm going to ask him some almost insane questions and see what he has to say. All right, Robert, first question. Robert, will you repeat this sentence? I, Robert Miklos, love the Texas Trial Lawyers Association. Come on. Say it. I've never had a legislator tell me this. Come on.
That's an interesting question.
Okay, he's not going to do it. He's now fully a politician. All right, second question. Robert, can you make me the promise that you'll never use this Texas House of Representatives crutch words? They are local control.
I will not make that promise.
Oh, man. You're going to hear those words so many times when you're on the floor. Believe me. All right, final.
And I'm actually a huge advocate of local control.
I am too, but I hate hearing that word all the time. You hear it over and over again. Okay, final question. Robert, seeing as since you're a freshman, you're going to probably be on the back row, you're probably going to have a desk mate. This desk mate may be Tom Craddock. Will you take him out for lunch?
Would I take Tom Craddock out to lunch?
Sure.
I think he probably has a little bit more time on his hands now than he did in the last few sessions, and so I think he would be available. I would never say no to sitting down to lunch with any member in the state legislature. You have to gather at least 76 votes for anything that you want to pass, and I don't think there's any reason why you wouldn't talk to anybody in the state legislature.
He could be your best friend.
I haven't met a single person in the state legislature yet who there wasn't something I liked about him.
Excellent. Thanks for coming on, Robert.
You bet.